Hey guys, it's your boy Wolf here. I just want to start by apologizing. I know that I said I would come back sooner at the end of my last video, but it didn't happen. It ended up being a lot longer. And, I wanted to take the time to really explain that when I get frustrated with something, like if I feel like things aren't going the way I want it to, I have a tendency to just stop doing it. And that's kind of what happened here. I was struggling with editing. I was struggling learning new things. I felt like everything was kind of stagnant. Um, and I just kind of was frustrated with it. The other thing is that I was asked by a member of the interview that I was doing, the parts, to not post the other ones simply because they were trying to go after or, something with another person who was trying to use whatever information that they're saying for a book, quoting them basically, and they don't have authorization or whatever because they didn't actually interview the person. So I respected their wishes and I hadn't post those, but that's no excuse for me not posting new and original content. I know it's been a while since I did this, so pretty much expect a new state of for WWE, AEW, and TNA. I think it's time to go back from May to now and see if what's got better, what's got worse, where we're at, where we're going, just things like that, and see if like I feel like the years are going to end strong or if they're going to be really bad. So that's coming soon. I'm definitely going to be doing those over the next week or two. Um, Today's going to be a non-wrestling related episode. I know I've always said that I wanted to do more than wrestling, and the one thing that I came up with is what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I think it's a great story. It's a funny story, and I think, it deserves to be told. Stories about nothing are literally stories about anything and nothing at the same time, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I'm going to do. Before that, though, I want to take some time to thank Buffalo Championship Wrestling for having me. It's always fun. It's always great to be there. And that one, I think, was one of my best shows ever as a referee. I did two baseball slides out of the ring. It was an I Quit match. They started fighting on the outside before the match really started. So I did a baseball slide to them in the entranceway. And I thought it came out really, really nice to me. Like I was completely under the rope. I didn't like awkwardly hit it or anything. And then the second one, it actually turned out really nice because the camera got a good shot of my face. I was in the one corner as Jeremiah Richter, who was the wrestler. He went to the outside, and then his opponent, Robbie Vegas, did a tope suicida through the middle rope. And I'm like, and then I turn and baseball slide out because, obviously I'm holding a microphone and I want to say, do you quit? Do you give up? Everything just turned out great. Everything was super smooth. It was fun. And the next show that they have is Lumber City Rumble on November 23rd at the
Uh,
Renaissance Club over in North Tonawanda. Um, they're going to be having a Rumble, obviously it's in the name, where the winner will receive a BCW WNY Heritage title match at the WrestleVersary show. I'm going to take some time and try to politic my way into that Rumble, I feel it. I'm feeling good. I'm, losing weight again. The knee and the broken femur, all of that's behind. I'm feeling really good right now. And I feel like with me being the OG member, one of the OG members of BCW that's still around from back when it first started, I think main eventing a Wrestleversary, it should be available to anyone and everyone, whether they be a referee, a part-time wrestler, full-time wrestler. Hell, it could be Joe from the back. Who cares? I think this is a prime opportunity, and with me being a BCW OG, nothing would mean more than to main event and hopefully win the BCW WNY Heritage Championship. So more news on that as it comes across. Maybe I'll be a surprise person. Maybe, we'll figure it out. But I'm going to try to definitely politic my way into that match. The stakes are too high and I need it. So let's get into the story. I mentioned several times, I don't try to hide, my daytime job that I am a customs broker. I gave it up for 5 years, but I'm back in the game now. But I wanted to go back to 2018. Sometimes, you had to travel with the job, especially given your position within the company. And for this, my boss and I had to drive to Windsor for a seminar or something. I don't even remember really why we went there. I just know that we had to go somewhere. We had to dress nice, and it was like a convention type thing, work related thing. So, but I don't remember specifically what that was. It was about a week or two after my dad passed away, so I wasn't really in a good place mentally, but we had to go. And my boss was like, "Hey, after this thing's over with, we'll just get drunk. We'll just go to the hotel bar and it'll be on the company's tab. Just go, we'll have fun." And that was it. That was all I needed to hear. And we drove the several hours, and I need to note that it was probably the most expensive hotel that I've ever stayed in. I have no idea why this company decided to put us up for the price that they paid. When I walked in, I was like, "Oh, this is really nice." Everything was top tier. And so I ended up Googling like the price of the hotel, and it was like 400 and something dollars a night. And I just couldn't believe it. I felt like I was a king for one day. But anyways, I just wanted to point out that that was like the most expensive place I ever stayed, and the drinks were very expensive too. But it wasn't on my tab. It wasn't my problem. So afterwards, we went there and we were just pounding drinks. Like we're both kind of feeling it. My boss obviously not as much a drinker as I was because I was still feeling all right. I was drunk. I don't want to say that I wasn't, but I was functional still. He really was not. And for whatever reason, he just stopped and just went, "I need to go to my hotel room and call my wife." I just went, "All right." Well, and he was like, "Maybe you should, go up and, we're feeling good right now. Why don't you just go up and take it easy the rest of the night?" And I was like, "Nah." But I wasn't going to get more alcohol. At least I wasn't planning on going to get more alcohol. On the ride to the hotel, I noticed there was a Tim Hortons maybe a half mile from the location. It was easy. It was just like around the corner and straight down. And so I was like, I went to him and I said, "No, I think I'm just gonna go to Tim Hortons." And he was like, "Windsor is not the safest place around." Like, I don't know if I like the idea of you walking the streets. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. It wasn't like daylight or anything. It was nighttime. And it was like a Friday night too. So it was also, just he thought all the birds will be out and, they'll try to peck at me. But I told him, I was like, "I grew up in the hood of Buffalo. Like, this place ain't got nothing on that." And so I went and I started walking. It was just weird because, oh, I should point out too, I should point out the fact that because of this convention thing, we had to dress up nicely. So, I was wearing a tie, a button down, slacks, nice dress shoes. And we didn't get changed. The only thing I did was I took my tie off and unbuttoned the top button, and I rolled the tie and put it in my pocket. So I was walking to the mean streets of Windsor, apparently. But there was nobody out. Like I walked literally the whole thing, and nobody was out. It was just quiet. It was the quietest walk I've ever had at night. Um, so I just ended up getting close to the Tim Hortons, and I suddenly like hear some music. It's like a band that's kind of warming up, and man, they're sounding freaking legit. They're sounding so crisp, clean, and good. It's like heavy and like a little bit of screaming. And so I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucking down for this. I'm not ready to go home or back to my hotel. Like, I'm ready to throw. I'm already pretty drunk." And so I walk up and I noticed they were across the street from the Tim Hortons. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they were directly across the street from the Tim Hortons. And I look, and as I'm crossing the street, I'm starting to see chaps, a lot of leather, and chains. I was just like, whatever. I don't care at this point. Like, if this is what the mean streets of Windsor results in, then, I lived a good life. And at least maybe I'll get to hear an awesome band as I'm on my way out. So I walk up and there was like a bouncer, whatever he was. I don't know what he was. So I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, how much is it to get in right now?" And he goes, "Well, it was $20, to get in for the show." And I said, dude, I got $20 American. Will you take that so I can go in? And he's just like, "It's 20. I don't care. It's $20." Like, yeah, sure. So I give it to him, and I am in a purple button down, black slacks, and black dress shoes, and everyone else has got some form of leather. Some are full body, some kind of just look like bikers, but they all had some type of leather on. I did not care. I just went up to the bar and I asked them if they took credit card or Visa card, whatever, debit card. And the guy's like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, we do." And I just handed it to him. And I was like, "Anyone who's at this bar right now, drink on me." And, he was just like, "All right, man." He knew what was up. He knew I was trying to establish myself as cool. Like, even though I'm not dressed like this, I'm still cool with you guys. I'm not here to start shit. I'm here to just enjoy and, hopefully you guys enjoy too. It cost me another $50 or so. I can't remember if it was 50 or 60. But I wanted to let them know that I'm an outsider here, but I'm here, offering, peace and like let's have some great time. Um, it was great because, a few people at the bar I remember were actually joking with me. They were like, "Man, look at this guy coming in here. Like he's overdressed, like he just came from, you know, whatever parliament or whatever they were saying." And I was just like, "Oh yeah." I was telling them how I worked with the government, not realizing like I don't remember if I said I was a customs broker, or if I just said, I work with, the Canadian and American government, trying to make sure everything is legal. So I just threw that out. I don't remember my exact verbiage. So, and a couple of people were like, "Hey, do you want to borrow my chaps for a minute?" No, no, no. I'm good where I'm at right now. I sat at the bar kind of in the corner away from everything. Um, but that band was absolute fire. Holy hell, they were so good. As soon as I left, I did, and by the way, I totally got my Tim Hortons. Like it from 10 o'clock to I think it was about 12:30, 1 in the morning. Most of the Tim Hortons. Oh, which is by the way, it's a coffee shop. I'm so used to seeing Tim Hortons like every 2 blocks in Buffalo that I don't realize that not a lot of people know. It's like Starbucks, but it's local. It's a Canadian thing, but it's local for us as well because we're so close to the border. So I totally got my Tim Hortons. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I need my Tims. So I got my Tims. And as soon as I came back home, I started Googling, the band. And they're called The Comeback Kid. And my favorite song, and I think this is the one they were kind of just screwing around with, getting ready, is called Surrender Control. Whatever reason, I just happened to have this where I was like, I need to go, see this band. And they turned out to rock out, and I had a great time. Another random experience that I've had in my life. There's a lot of them. And, maybe every once in a while I'll throw out, a story of my journeys through whatever hell, high water, or nonsense that came up in my life. It'll probably be something if someone reminds me of it and I go, "Oh man, that's a great story." Because that's what happened here is I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it might have been one of the people at work that I was like talking to about how a band I just randomly decided to go see at a, S&M bar, leather bar, whatever you call them. But it made me think of telling this story to everyone because I feel like it's funny. Everyone who hears it thinks it's hilarious, and they're shocked that I actually did it. So hopefully, I'll have more stories related to that every once in a while. So with that said, let that digest in your mind. Take some time to really think about seeing me dressed up in leather bar, completely, pretty wasted by the end of it, and just having people ask me if I want to wear their chaps. So that's all there is. There isn't any more. Hopefully, I'll be back real soon.